Hey Leaves, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. You have the Shaman and the Siren, the Stone and the Eternal Child, and the Ring. And I feel like there's this idea, I mean, the Siren is like you can't ignore the call, and I feel like there's this idea of something that you were just like reaching for, that you just wanted, that feels like it got ripped out of your hands. What you guys had in your last read, that idea of just bouncing, sorry. In your last read, you had the idea of something not ruling in your favor. And I feel like, again, it's just this idea of you went for it and it's like you fell short of it. And yet I feel like there is an idea here, because the Stone and the Eternal Child, the stone is the idea that, like, no matter how far down the current you get swept, you always come back to yourself. And I almost feel this sense of, I don't know. And I feel like a lot of people do this. I don't feel like it's a sign specific thing, but, like we get in our mind that it's something that we really want and something that we really want to do. And like losing that one thing almost forces you to like come back to yourself. And a lot of times when we come back to ourselves, we realize that the thing that we thought we really wanted, like, if we would have gotten that, then we wouldn't be where we were at, right? I don't know. I think like with relationships, I don't know. I mean, I'm 41, so obviously I've been in relationships, and I have, been in love, and I've, thought, this person is the person that I want to be with. And then for whatever reason, it didn't work out, and just being really heartbroken at the time. And then retrospect, looking back and thinking, whew, I'm really glad that I didn't get stuck in that. You know what I mean? That would have taken my life in a completely different direction. That, like, that's not my direction. You know what I mean? And I kind of get this feeling that, like, you lose something that you were like, this is the one thing that I really want. And yet when you lose that one thing, like, you come back to yourself in a way that's like, but like, what did you really want about that? You know what I mean? Like, if I just think of like a relationship, but like, if you know that this person, like, you don't have anything in common with this person, you guys wouldn't, like, it's like liking the idea of somebody, but like the reality of your relationship is not all that great. And it's like, well, I just thought maybe this, or I just thought maybe that. And it's like, that was great in your imagination, but like not in practice, right? Or like when you have conversations with somebody and you're like, I don't even really know where to go with this conversation from here. You know what I mean? Like, awkward silence, you know what I mean? I just kind of feel like, but in losing that opportunity, I think you're forced to really kind of like, what is it that you really want? What is it that you really are looking for? What is it that you really, like, that you really are committed to? Because sometimes, I don't know what, we're just gonna chill in this arena for a minute, but sometimes, there is just this idea of like, well, I just want to be in a relationship. I just want to be in love. I just want to meet my soulmate. I just want to, and because you want to do this, you're like, any person who comes along who you think you can fit in that, like, oh, well, that must be the thing. And it's kind of like, but then you get to know them, and it's just kind of like, you don't, you like these things, and this person likes those things. And so you try to like those things to try and get this person, but then you don't really like those things. So, like when you're done trying, then immediately, like, it all falls to pieces. Um, but when you're done trying, it all falls to pieces, you're forced to really start taking that idea of like, I just want to be in a relationship. I just want to be in love. And like fine tuning that a little bit. Like, okay, so, like, what do you enjoy? You know what I mean? Like, if you're somebody who just enjoys going out every night and partying and whatever, like, you're not going to enjoy being with somebody who likes to, like, I don't know, do daytime activities, like go to parks and museums. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to be, and you might like the idea, oh, but it's cool because they're an artist and they're this, and this, but like that's not you, that's not your lifestyle. That's not what you enjoy doing. You know what I mean? And it's like, again, just trying to like fit people into an idea of like what it is that you think that they should be, rather than finding people who are like truly aligned with you, who truly share in your interests, who truly share in your goals, who, like if you want to, if you're like a small town person and you're like, well, I just want to be like, you're not going to be in a compatible relationship with somebody who, like they like the hustle and bustle of the city. You just have very different, I just feel like there's just like very different ways of living life. And an idea of somebody is not a reality of somebody. And I feel like you lost an idea of something. But it brings you back to, like what it is that connects with you and what you really want. The ring. I don't know, I feel like I'm babbling. I'm sorry. We'll do clarifiers because I feel like I just said the same thing a few times and that's all I'm getting. So, Leaps. I hope everyone's doing well. Staying warm out there. The Nine of Swords, the Fool, the Ace of Cups, and the Six of Wands. I don't know. I kind of, again, I just feel like this idea, like understanding that you were swept up in an idea. I feel like just this, like this realization that, like, yeah, that was an idea. It wasn't like that wasn't a great thing. And again, that like you're letting it go, but like when you let go of trying to like, I don't know, like put people into an idea, I feel like you open yourself up to actually meeting people who are aligned with you and your lifestyle and what it is that you take interest in. Okay, more clarifiers. I don't know. I feel like I need to watch this one again because I don't know. The King of Cups. The Page of Swords. The Page of Cups. Justice. Four of Wands. Fairy Stallion. Leaves, again, I just think that idea of like having to like come back to yourself and because I do just kind of get this idea of like being hung up on somebody, but then you realize that you're hung up on an idea about this person. You know what I mean? Like you're not actually compatible with them. And for some of my leaps, I feel like it might be one of those things where you were like, but I thought I was compatible. I thought those were the things I was interested in. And almost like this, like having to kind of like look at yourself. And it's like, well, if I didn't think of myself as somebody who was just, like partying all the time, and I'm just going to use it. It's just an analogy. I'm not saying that that's what you do, but, but like if I'm not somebody who, or if I think of myself as somebody who enjoys, like art and culture and all of these things, but like at no point in time in my life do I ever actually do those things. Instead I'm just always at the bar, or I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's just this, like, you have an idea of who you want to be and who you would be if you really felt like putting any effort into it. and somebody crosses your path who you're like, oh yeah, that's like perfect. And then it's like, but no, it's not, because it's not who you are. It's who you think you are. And it's not to say that it's not who you can be. It's just to say that it's not who you are currently, right? So you work on yourself and you focus on what it is that you really want to do and who it is that you really want to be, you know? And I think when you do that, you find yourself in a community of people that really, I think, allow for you to engage in the things that you like. You were like, well, I thought that's who I was. But it's just an idea of what you thought you were. You know what I mean? Um, I don't, I don't know, Leaps. And if this doesn't resonate, please do not try and make it fit. And you can be on either side of the story. It could be that you're dealing with somebody and this person, you know, like, they really wanted to go out with you, and they were like, oh, we have so much in common. And then anytime you ask them to do any of the things that they said that they liked to do, you know, they were like, no, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be out doing this. And you're like, okay, well, like, I thought that you said that you liked these things, but clearly that's not the case. You know what I mean? But I think once you realize that, you are able to move in a direction that I feel like it feels like a sense of justice for yourself, honestly. You know, like an opportunity to work in something that, I don't know, because sometimes we think that we like things and then we try it and we're like, oh, it's not really what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? And so, you know, you walk away and you go and you find something different. And it's not because you weren't capable of taking interest in anything. It's just that you were daydreaming about what you were taking interest in and not realistic about what you were taking interest in. But I feel like that's changing. So there's that. Okay, leaves. I hope everyone's doing well. The temple and the river. Yeah, it really does, guys. It really just feels like this idea of like somebody who really thinks that they're like, oh yeah, I'm into that. But like nothing about their life says that, like, it demonstrates any of those things. And then feeling like there's this idea of like something that you really wanted getting ripped away from you. But like also, you know, and it, like if it's a job, and you're like, well, I really wanted to start this, and then somebody else started, you know, like that just down the street, and you're kind of frustrated about it, but also, you know, like you weren't actually doing anything. You were just talking about doing it and then getting upset when somebody else actually did it, you know, and just, I feel like having a wake-up call from it. Again, take what resonates, leave the rest. If it doesn't fit, don't try and make it. Either way, I hope that this does resonate. If it does, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.